welcome to another episode, eh?
That was like a very bad Canadian / Wisconsin accent.
Well, actually, the reason I did that is because I'm a huge Happy Console Gamer fan, and we're kind of taking a little bit of page out of his book, you know, where him and Rob Mann will reminisce kind of about video games and back in the day. And
Right.
I think a lot of people want to hear our stories, so I think we're gonna
Probably,
try to do
yeah.
that. Except Melvor. Melvor doesn't.
They probably don't want to hear it, but you're gonna hear it anyway. So now's your chance to either click off or you can proceed.
Absolutely. What we're going to talk about today is the one and only NES.
We got the Nintendo Entertainment System. I believe it was the action set in 1987. And I keep saying R because Melvor's right there and we're brothers. It's a dongo. But our mother wanted to play Legend of Zelda. So when Legend of Zelda came out, she couldn't help herself, and she went out and bought the game, bought an NES, brought it home, and of course she was old. Well, we thought she was at the time anyways, and she sucked, and we just kind of took it over. If she couldn't beat a level, be it Zelda or Rygar, Metroid, Super Mario Brothers, there were times when she would wake one of us up in the middle of the night, like literally, hey, come help me with this, back me up on this, he'll tell you. So, yeah, hey, I can't beat this level, come help me.
The Red Knights and Zelda?
Yeah. So our first experience with NES was our mother wanted to play Zelda, so that was the beginning of that.
Video game systems were the best gifts a parent could give for multiple children because, hey guys, we got you a Christmas present.
Oh, absolutely. There was definitely a lot of fighting going on. A rule in our house was you came home, you did your homework first. You couldn't watch TV, you couldn't play video games, we couldn't do anything, go outside and play, we couldn't do anything unless we did our homework. But basically, we would try to get our homework done as soon as possible, even maybe try to get it done at school so we can come home and get on the system first before. I mean, there was 6 of us growing up, so yeah, there was some fighting for the deal. For the Nintendo to play.
You safe bet that y'all didn't look like this happy little family right here.
Well, it was close. Like this, I guess this would be Melvor because he's the older child in the picture. This would be me. Our parents would be here, except our dad would probably have a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and our mother would be cursing at him. So it's close though. It's pretty accurate.
When I first learned about the NES was from friends across the street. And I played Mario, and I played Castlevania. I remember playing Castlevania, Contra, and I was like, I gotta get me one of these. And I tried to convince my dad. My dad was like, no, we're getting an Atari ST, because his friends at work go, man, you gotta get the Atari ST. It was essentially like peer pressure for him to get his own video game system,
right.
Whatever, or / computer, whatnot. And don't get me wrong, I love the Atari ST. I ended up playing it. The graphics are great. It had some fun games on it. But at the back of my mind, it was like, all my friends are playing NES. I want an NES. All the kids, actually, me, my sister, and my cousin, because we used to always go hang out. We all kind of live close to each other, so we basically hang out at all my grandma's house at Friday night when we were kids. And I go, look, guys, we need to convince our grandparents to get us a Nintendo. And sure enough, eventually it happened. Sir. And so the NES was only at my grandmother's house, and we could only play it when I went on there on Friday nights, but it still was better than nothing. And I remember going to the store and getting it for the first time and popping in Mario and being like, finally, I can sit there and play this game, and I can do it at my own leisure this time and not have to worry about my friends kicking me out of the house.
Right.
And so, obviously, this is one of my favorite systems of all time. This is not the actual console box that I owned. Sadly, just like a lot of us, got rid of it. Don't remember where I took it. I don't remember if I could say a GameStop or Pawn Shop. I don't even remember. I still remember to this day, it was late 90s where my original Super Nintendo in the box, I gave it to GameStop because they were, at that time, going, no more trade-ins for Super Nintendo. You got till this date. And I was like, oh crap, I got that in my closet. I still remember getting about $15 credit, not even cash, credit for a boxed Super Nintendo, and thinking that I made out like a bandit. I got all this credit for just something to sit in my closet.
I guess the joke was on you.
A couple of years later, I'm like, oh.
Some of them are obvious. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Super Mario Brothers 3, of course Legend of Zelda. I was, at the time, very, very, very big into sports games. more specifically baseball games. So basically anything that was baseball, I was playing. Bases Loaded 2. I spent a lot of time. I remember writing the codes to continue the season, and the codes, I mean, we all know the codes were like this freaking long. Baseball Stars, you've got, I don't even know, RBI Baseball, all 4 of those actually.
I remember my mom wanting me to buy a sports game because I guess it was my birthday or something, and she said, hey, let's go buy an NES game. And I'm going to the store, I forget what store it was, but she was like, man, you're always getting those chase games. And that's what she called them, chase games. And I guess she was referring to platformers and action games and stuff. And so she needed to get a sports game. So I was like, sports game? So I was like, all right, I'll get football. I ended up getting football, and I don't remember which football game it was, but I remember it being
some good ones.
But this game was so slow that it's like from one hash mark to the next seemed like it took 5 freaking minutes. And it was so boring.
It was probably Black Box.
Pro Football.
Or 10-yard fight.
10-yard fight. It was just so slow. It was just boring as like, man, it's worst present ever.
What you mentioned like Castlevania, a couple of other games.
Castlevania.
What were your main titles?
main titles was the Mario titles. Obviously, I rented Mario 2. Went to Jar Nintendo. You guys know about Jar Nintendo at this point. Rented a bunch of games from there. I loved Mario 2. And another story. It's kind of a long story, so I'm not going to get too much into it. But I was a huge Ninja Turtles fan as well. And I loved the arcade. My friends were saying, man, for our birthday, we're going to go to the arcade and play the arcade. It never happened. I was disappointed that day. But they did get NES Ninja Turtles. And as bad as the game, or as bad as a lot of people think the game is, it has a lot of nostalgia for me. And I love it because I ended up getting the game myself. And I had a lot of fun with it. It's actually one of my favorite games on the system. It is flawed, but I do enjoy it. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, you can't beat that on the NES. And of course, Super Mario Bros. 3, which a lot of people would consider the best game of all time. And I remember anticipating, I think Super Mario Bros. 3 was the first game I ever really anticipated a release date for.
With the Wizard at the time, the movie The Wizard, and
the commercials.
Right.
The commercials, the one where they zoom out of the planet and it's a big Mario head.
I remember the first time I played Super Mario Bros. 3, it was, I was still young enough for sleepovers, okay, so insert gay jokes down below, but
I'll be the first one.
Yeah, probably. No, we were. It was my little league team. We were doing, I guess, like a sleepover, slumber party, whatever, at one of the guys' house, and his parents were a little well off than mine at the time, so they had Nintendo and they had Super Mario Bros. 3, and that was like the hotness at the time, and I think I literally just sat there and played that from like dark till sun up. Like my mom was coming to get me, and I was still sitting there playing Super Mario Bros. 3.
I can remember popping it in the first day, in my grandparents' bedroom. Oh, wow, that just did not sound right.
Popping it in first day in your grandmother's bedroom, huh?
Yeah. The
insert more jokes down here.
But yeah, no, it was in the afternoon. Played it all night long. Oh, and Gremlins 2 was another favorite on the system. I was a huge Gremlins fan, of course, and so I remember seeing the game.
Is this factory sealed?
It doesn't have an HC, but really? I still think that it's factory sealed.
It looks like it is.
If it isn't, somebody did a really good job at faking it.
Well, it's still got the original, tap.
We're
not going to get into all that.
It looks grimy and of course that can be faked. But again, someone would have had to go to a lot of trouble to fake that. And it's not like I got it for a high price or anything.
The corners are still good on it. It's not, we're going to go with this factory seal.
All you guys who want to do video responses, let us know how you came across the NES for the first time. If you like the NES, want to hear what you have to say and all that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it. And any last thoughts on the NES?
Other than it's just totally badass. Honestly, it's got to be my favorite to second favorite system ever. I'm a PlayStation fanboy, so I'm going to say PS2 is right there with the NES. But the library's huge. The games are classic. Without Nintendo, who knows where we'd be.
Boys, all you Call of Duty fanboys out there who like to troll us and say retro games suck. Hey, this is why you play Call of Duty.
Word. Oh wait, I got something for you guys right here. Actually, cut it right there.
Mario 2 is a better game than 3.
Mario 2 was a good game, but Mario 3 is better.
No, it's not.
Mario 3 is better than 2.
I was disappointed with Mario 3, actually. That all the hype built up for that. When it came out, I'm like, yeah.
We're gonna do Genesis.
Did that turn out?
I think it turned out good.
It was fine. It was fine. It'll be fine once you put some music and you put the gameplay footage over, and you break it up a bit. It'll be fine.